All right, what's up, everyone? Welcome to another episode of Rollin with Hayes. We haven't done this in a while, just a lot of things have been going on, but we're going to definitely be more consistent. My goal is to at least get get three out during the week. So today's is definitely going to be about sports. A lot has been happening with the NBA playoffs. I will give a little bit of my take on this fantasy football league that I'm in as well, but it'll be that today. I have to discuss some of what's been happening in Blast, some of what's been happening in Ordinals, what are some of my plays. But with this one, just diving into it. So we are in the semifinals of the East and West Conference. Before we touch on that, draft lottery was yesterday. Number one pick is the Atlanta Hawks. Number two pick is to the Washington Wizards. Kind of rounding out the top five, you have the Detroit Pistons, the Charlotte Hornets, and the San Antonio Spurs. I personally don't know that many people in this year's draft, but of course there's going to be at least one solid player in this year's draft. I don't know who it is, and that's what the GMs get paid the big bucks to do, because they're able to analyze every single pick, see which ones fit which system and scheme. Again, I didn't watch a lot of college basketball. I didn't even do a bracket this year, but they're saying there's a French player that's going to go number one, and so you would assume that he's going to go to Atlanta. It's a bigger market, which is good. Atlanta doesn't have a rich history of winning, so that's going to be interesting. Of course, what are you going to do with DeJounte Murray? And Trae Young is another thing too. You're getting to the same point that you got to with CJ McCollum and Damian Lillard. You got to break them up. You're not going to win with them. At this point, you're just over here thinking, oh, they're boys. But that's not going to win. I promise you they're not going to win. And that's nothing against them. That's just what the league has right now. Can they both win on other organizations if you put them in the right scheme? Absolutely. But they're not winning with those two. You need to do a lot to that team. Other thing is, they were talking about how did the Detroit Pistons get number 5, but yet they also the games. They don't do it the same way as the NFL, whereas if you have the worst record, you're just going to get the number 1 pick. And then the Hawks had a 3% chance of getting it. But that's the whole point of the lottery, supposedly. I have my personal thoughts on this stuff, but we'll save that for another day. Going into the playoffs itself. Going into the playoffs itself, if you look at the West side, you do have the Timberwolves and the Denver Nuggets, and then also you have the Dallas Mavericks and the OKC Thunder. Before it all started, I was gung-ho on saying it was going to be the Mavericks against the Timberwolves. And I think Game 5 is going to determine who's going to take it all in the Timberwolves and the Nuggets series. It's 2-2, and they both have won 2 on the opponent's home court. Last game was wild because Nuggets just came out the gate just running it. Looking at the Mavericks and Thunder series, the Mavericks are going to take that. It's 2-1. Kyrie's putting on a display that only Kyrie can put on. Luka is able to do Luka work when he wants to, and he can take a back seat sometimes too. And then you have PJ Washington that stepped up. If PJ Washington is stepping up, and they said this, you have no chance, because he's not even their first or second option, and he's doing this. Looking at the East side of things, you have 2-2 series with the Pacers-Knicks, and then you have the Celtics and the Cavaliers, which is 2-1 last I saw. Starting with the Cavaliers and the Celtics, and I'll go backwards with all the different series. But the Celtics, I personally believe, are going to take that one. They haven't even had to do as much in the series so far. Donovan Mitchell has been holding that team down. And I was talking to Steven last week on the show. I don't think Donovan Mitchell's going to stay there either. If they lose, I think Donovan Mitchell is going to look for a different situation. Only thing is, this is when it comes to, are you looking for scheme or money? Which one do you prefer at this time in life? He's a solid scorer, you know that. But what is a good fit around him? Do I think Donovan Mitchell's going to win a championship? Absolutely. I believe so, that he can. The rest of the team, they're young. Darius Garland's young. Evan Mobley is not that old. You have Karis LeVert, who you never know what player he wants to end up being. Max Strus. They just got Dean Wade back as well. The Celtics just are so much better than every team in the East, which is why I believe the Celtics are going to take this series. Can the Cavs win one more? Yeah, so it can end 4-2, so we're going at least 6. I can see that happening. I do think that the Celtics get this next one, and then it'd be like, oh, are they just going to beat them 4-1? So that's mainly my thoughts over there. Congrats to Brad Stevens. He did win Executive of the Year, General Manager of the Year. Looking at the Pacers-Knicks series, I was telling this to my mom the other day. It reminds me of back in the day when Muhammad Ali would just body punches, body blows, and then you would get tired. And so just wear you down in the end. And that seems like what the Pacers are able to do. Only thing is, the Pacers are not throwing the body blows. The Knicks are giving themselves so many body blows, aka injuries, and you're starting to see them wear down. These injuries are taking a toll on them. If half the team is getting injured, who's going to be playing outside of their starters, and they're having to play all the minutes? And the Pacers went to town. I even put a bet in that the Knicks would lose by less than 29.5 points. Did not happen. The Knicks absolutely lost by 32 points. It was just offer it 3 after 3 after 3, just raining it. Tyrese Halliburton was feeling it. Miles Turner was feeling it. Naismith was starting to feel it again. Pascal Siakam got work. They all were playing their part in that game. So this game in the Garden is going to be important. If the Pacers get this game in the Garden, we got a whole nother discussion. And that's what Tyrese Halliburton was saying. They won 2 on their court. We won 2 on our court. It's a whole new ball game. It's best out of 3 now. Whoever can win 2, aka someone's got to win on the other person's home court. Not necessarily. You can go 7. But if you want to avoid 7, the Pacers got to win on someone else's home court. And that's the Knicks. It's plain as day with that. Other thing is Tyrese Halliburton has to show up. He can't have a game like he had before when he kind of disappeared. You can end up arguing, and some people were even saying, is he made for the spotlight? Is he in that same level of all-star conversation? He's a solid point guard. He absolutely is. The shot, he has to just have it more consistently in the playoffs. There's a big difference playing in the regular season compared to the playoffs when there's a lot more on the line. And we'll start to see if this Pacers team can do it. Now, does it matter to me who comes out? No, because the Celtics are going to do it. You can easily see this. If the Celtics win another game, you need to start talking about, okay, are we starting to book our tickets to go see them when Boston has home court advantage in the in the finals. And then again, segueing back to the West, just talking about that really quick. SGA and the OKC Thunder, what they have done is amazing. What they have done is nothing short of outstanding. They just are young. And Kyrie wants it now. Luka wants it now. That's a big thing. My other part is, and I've said this before, whoever comes out of that Timberwolves Nugget series is going to the finals. The Mavericks, I do not think have the bigs to end up playing with the Nuggets or the Timberwolves. This series, I personally believe, can go 7. It's 2-2. Again, I said that. Someone has to win on the other person's home. In the case of the Timberwolves. The Nuggets don't have to. The Nuggets can just wait this out, go 7, and then take it that way. But that's the series that a lot of people are going to start to focus in on. Those 2 shots at the end were wild. in the span of 15 seconds when Michael Porter Jr. got out with the dunk. And then after that, Jamal Murray just chucked that joint up. But we have a series. And the final thing I just want to cover really quick, because I do think it needs to get some shine. Congratulations to A'ja Wilson. She will be getting a sneaker deal. Caitlin just got a deal, has had a deal with Gatorade. And then kind of taking it to the next level. Just to note, the WNBA players will be having chartered flights this year. This is the first time. I was explaining to my family the other day, the money's there. They just, why did you put them in certain situations in terms of during the bubble? Why did they get the short end of the stick in the bubble? They definitely could have gotten it more. Why are some of these training facilities what they are when it should be more? And a lot of this is Caitlin Clark is having people open up their wallets. Caitlin Clark is definitely making a lot of this happen, or making people say, we're about to put all our eggs in a basket right now. We will really see, because if she averages, they were saying, if she averages 6-7 points, it's a concern. But they're going to let Caitlin shoot as much as she wants to. She's the focus of the WNBA right now. She knows it. We know it. The universe knows it. Everyone knows that it's her show. The Fever, damn, they're going to make the playoffs too, because how are you not going to have the Fever in the playoffs? Could you? Yes, but would it be good? It's really different than Victor Wembanyama's series, because the NBA already was what it was. It's just a special freak athlete talent in the NBA that is there, but it wasn't the same. They've been following Caitlin in college, seeing her break records there, seeing her get these NIL deals there, seeing her shoot from wherever there, seeing her just have her will there, the triple doubles, the star celebrity attention, all of that Caitlin Clark was getting in college. Now put this in the women's league on the top stage where the big women are, you're really going to be able to tell how this is going to go. And I'm looking forward to seeing how this plays out. When Diana Taurasi came out, that was big. When Sue Bird came out, that was big. Simone Augustus came out, that was big. Maya Moore, that was huge. This is different. The way that they talk about Caitlin Clark, you can't put anybody on the same planet as her, to be honest. In terms of marketability, a lot of people are like, oh, well, this player is the same. I understand. A'ja Wilson was prime time as well. Caitlin Clark has that marketability factor that has just done something different. And I'm looking forward to seeing how this truly plays out. Because when they say people are box office, Caitlin Clark is box office. Caitlin Clark is selling out wherever she goes. So we'll see how a situation like this plays out. I'm excited to see it. And yeah, I'll leave it at that. Don't want it to go too long. Appreciate you guys as always. Until next time, Rolling with Hayes, we out.